Hi there guys, Sam here. Welcome to another video where I go through the 2020 Mark 8 Golf R and the latest comments and opinions from you guys. So yeah, I'll get straight into the video really. So yes, welcome again to another video. I hope everyone is all well. And first of all, thanks so much for the support on my latest 2020 Mark 8 Golf R images. The video's done really well. And in this video, I kind of wanted to go through a whole heap of comments that you lot posted on it and from your kind of opinion on it, because ultimately yeah, that's what kind of matters. It's kind of what matters to VW. I think it should kind of shape how they make a car, really. We're the people that ultimately are going to put our hard earned money into a car like that and ultimately give it good praise or whatever. And that's what I kind of like most about my kind of channel, kind of bringing that kind of community together, really. And yeah, it certainly got me quite excited when I saw those images, mainly the colour. I thought it looked quite cool, and I'm really interested to see more and yeah, follow it through as I kind of mentioned in that video. So yeah, let me go straight through some of the comments that you guys mentioned, and yeah, my kind of answers to them as well. So yeah, let's get straight into that. So yeah, let's go through these. So one of the first sort of comments that came through were just saying how basically I like the Mark 8 Golf R over the Mark 8 GTI, but I like the Mark 7.5 GTI over the Mark 7.R, aesthetically wise only. So I have done sort of latest images on the Mark 8 Golf GTI as well, and that video is also done quite well. It's in a link above here, and the car was that was kind of spotted on the streets was in black. It had sort of like a red grille. I I didn't really actually like it as much as I probably like this one, in my personal opinion, just from the looks and stuff like that. But there is a definite difference, which I think is good. The Golf range, it's all kind of pretty similar. Um, our lines can look like ours, that kind of thing. But yeah, it certainly had its own distinct personality, is all I would kind of say. But it's interesting how people are kind of comparing the GTI to the R, because I never found in the UK there's anything different in price. And in fact, you can sometimes get an R for cheaper than a GTI just because of the history and why it goes back so many years in comparison to the R, which is relatively new in some regards. Yeah, people have long memories basically. So yeah, it's interesting on a price point of view. I think they tend to just about even out, which is why a lot of people would go for the four-wheel drive 329 brake horsepower car, which is interesting. A lot of, well, yeah, people saying essentially that the Mark 7 R, the three-door, looks a lot better. And, I have a Mark 7 Golf R three-door and I love it. I think hatchbacks look great in three-door. It's just that kind of personality they've got. You get bigger doors as well, which can sometimes be actually a little bit easier if, I don't have many people sort of having trips in my car. It's mainly me, and it's looks good as well. The 7 is a good looking car basically. And I think the reason why the Mark 8 is hyped up quite a lot is because the Mark 7's been so good. And yes, it's a shame there's not going to be a three door in the Mark 8 Golf R really. Some people saying that yeah, they're almost kind of copying the Ford Focus and the BMW in some regards. I don't think it looks too much like a 1 Series, particularly from the front. Kind of get it from the rear, it kind of does in some ways. And yeah, the Ford Focus as well, they can sometimes all look quite similar. But you've got to remember, when a lot of manufacturers are sort of being mitigated by so many regulations, the scope of what they can actually do becomes really small, and they're all going to eventually look very similar, which is a bit of a shame because it doesn't mean it makes it less unique. I mean, particularly if you compare these cars to their direct rivals, the Mark 8 Golf R. You've got like the A35, it's 300 brake horsepower, four-wheel drive. You've got the M135i, it's 300 brake horsepower, four-wheel drive. It's very samey, and that is a bit of a shame. Personally, I think the Golf R really got me excited about kind of four-wheel drive hot hatches when it came out, and yeah, I hope it continues to kind of set the benchmark. People also mentioning about the interior, saying the screens look cheap and nasty. Yeah, I guess I've heard a lot of things about rumours about how the quality isn't quite there. You know, they're cutting costs. Manufacturers are cutting costs in absolutely everything that you can possibly think of in small little areas where it wouldn't necessarily initially influence you in getting the car, but actually to live with, it's quite nice to kind of have those little touchy feely bits, or you know, the soft, you know, materials around the car. Even stuff like a battery cover is quite nice. I've got it on my Mark 7, but I found out that actually on the facelift 7.5, VW just took the front cover off, so the battery is now exposed when you open the bonnet, and that's a little bit strange, but that saves VW money. I mean, if they're going to make millions of these cars, it's every little penny helps. So I can see a lot of cost cutting. They're still paying off Dieselgate debt at the end of the day. I'm still quite happy that they're actually making an R. I'm not necessarily sure the way they're making these R models is right for people like you and me who are actually potentially interested in buying the car and are enthusiasts about it. You know, it's a cool car. It's exciting times. You know, we need some excitement in the world, and it's quite a cool thing to be seeing. What VW are kind of doing, it seems like they're more trying to make a mass product rather than making it a little bit more unique, and I think you've got to get a right balance in that. But yes, the interior apparently isn't going to be as good, despite all the tech. But again, we'll have to wait and see, and we will find out soon, because this car is going to eventually come into production. You know, you'll see it here first in terms of the latest information about it. People saying, yeah, it's growing on me. I'll stick with my Mark 7.5 GTI for now. I'll still go for the 7 and the 7.5. Some people saying the wheels make me feel sick. Yeah, wheels have really changed, actually. I don't know why. Manufacturers went through a spell where they make some amazing wheels on hot hatches. And like I loved my Fiesta ST. When that came out in 2013, the wheels were great. Golf R, I think they look great in Pretorias and in the Cadiz wheels, the Mark 7. And there were some really cool wheels that I really liked. And then they've just kind of lost the plot. You look at like top of the range Audis and like the TTRS, you know, you're paying like 65 grand for a car. The wheels look crap. They're diamond cut. I just hate them. It's like they're really indented in the middle. And some of the other wheels just look really cheap and very similar. And this is how the whole thing, how everything's becoming the same. I'm sure there's a reason around it. I actually thought these wheels looked alright. It certainly didn't make me feel sick, but yeah, each to their own, basically. Some people saying, you know, they're hoping it's not the finished product and there's more to come. I mean, I'll be honest with you, that is getting near a finished product. Let's be honest. It's, you know, it looks 90% there in my mind. Yeah, they've got a bit of tape and bits here and there, but yeah. And I think if you look at it in another way, if you don't like the big wing and you don't like certain bits, maybe the wheels and stuff, that could be a top of the range car. There might be a smaller wheel size which looks a little bit nicer. It might be a little bit more toned down and restrained. So, you know, don't worry too much yet. Let's wait and see. Some people saying it doesn't look special enough compared to a regular Mark 8, and I guess that was the problem with the Mark 7, and it's the same with the Mark 8. And I like that it doesn't look too much different. Yes, I would like a little bit more 40th edition or Club Sport S look to my Golf R at times, but not all the time, because you know they can stand out a lot more, particularly when you're commuting and just doing your normal day-to-day. I like what the Golf R has to offer, and people don't know that you can just basically just overtake everything. It's a fantastic car in the real world. People saying they think it looks awesome. Some saying that they've owned quite a few down the ranges, Mark 4, 5, 7 GTI and a 7R, and they're saying it looks horrible, the headlights look horrible. Some saying it's not bad. I think the production car will look much better. I'm waiting to know the spec if I'm going to change mine. So a few different opinions in that regards. Some saying, oh, you know, you've got to give it an ECU tune, they've got to put spacers on it. And that's all things that you can personalise. And I think hot hatches have always been renowned for people doing that and tweaking little bits here and there. As much as it probably costs me a lot of views and a lot of subscribers, I don't like doing that, because actually changing a car from standard to your own unique personal thing, A, it kind of devalues the car and it costs an awful lot of money. But B, it doesn't really make it unique because everyone's doing it. You know, I struggle sometimes to see stock Fiesta STs on the road, Mk8s or Mk7s. They're all being modified in some way. Doesn't really make it appealing to get, if I'm honest. And the Golf is probably less so, but you know, you see people tuning them up to crazy horsepower, and you know, I mean, you can seen some on Instagram, we sort of change them into show cars almost, with like Ferrari wheels and carbon ceramic brakes, which is, you know, whatever. You know, if you're going to spend 10-20 grand on your Golf R, I'd probably rather buy another car. That is my opinion. And actually, just briefly on that, the reason why I have never sort of modified any of my cars is when I had my Fiesta ST at 200 brake horsepower, I sort of said to myself, well, I can spend X, Y, and Z to get the car to being a high performance, but to get it up to say 300 brake horsepower is going to cost me quite a lot. Why not just get a car that's already at 300 brake horsepower? Hence why I got the Golf R. If I suddenly wanted a car at 400 or 500 brake horsepower, rather than modifying the hell out of my car, why not look for a car that has that kind of power, which there are plenty around. So yeah, watch this space. People asking about how it's going to work in terms of how it's going to distribute the power to the four-wheel drive system. There's a bit of a comment thread on that. I think it will be similar to what VW normally do with the Haldex system. I don't think they're going to revolutionise what they've got. I think it's as entertaining as you're probably going to get, but you don't know. They might add something quirky in there. You know, certainly years, you know, time has passed plenty to be able to understand what you want from a four-wheel drive system. So we'll have to see what that's like. It's certainly going to rocket off the line. That's always been a party piece when it pushes you back, your head back to the headrest. Some people saying, "Oh, I think it's my dream car now," which is cool. Car's getting bigger and bigger. Looks like a saloon car. Yeah, it actually from side on it looks huge. It's a big car, but that's just the way the world is now. Apparently, people are getting a lot bigger. Although, you know, cars are getting bigger than people are, to be honest with you. I think it's just the stuff people carry around with them, to be honest. But some people saying end of the era for VW, looks like a Focus. So this is quite interesting. It's certainly worth repeating, as others have mentioned, the lower front fascia on this car has two strange diagonal attachments that have been tacked on with pop rivets. In other words, what we're seeing here is not what will finally emerge as the OEM front fascia on the Mk8R. We can only hope that VW comes up with a better looking car than this. Yeah, you did notice bits that were kind of stuck on, but I think it's pretty much there. Somebody's saying it looks really good, and actually, to be fair, looking through all of these now, it's probably a bit of like 60-40 split from what people have saying. I think I've gone through, how many comments have I got here? How many will it say? It doesn't give me an easy way to show on YouTube, because that's great, but I've probably gone through like 20-30 comments or something, and it's probably about 40% like it, 60% don't like it. And the first one that I released back in, I think it was February, with the latest images, it was definitely more like 90% people hated that car with a passion. Maybe as time goes on and it's adjusted to people's minds and maybe the colours change, it looks a little bit better to their eyes. Certainly to me, this is definitely the best one that I've seen. And yeah, we're just going to have to go from there. But I really do appreciate all the comments that you lot give. And, you know, if you do some comments in here, I'll try to get back to you all. And if I can't get back to every single one of you, I'll likely do a video addressing the comments anyway. So you'll get an answer one way or the other. I'm excited to see this car. We'll certainly find out more. VW have recently, this week, they've done some, they showed a little bit more on the Tiguan R as well, which I did a video on. And, you know, down the line in the next couple of weeks, I reckon we're going to see a lot more on this Mk8 Golf R. And you'll see it here first. And again, I'll be really interested to know your thoughts and opinions on it. And I'll certainly share mine too. But yes, thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And yeah, stay tuned for plenty more content to come. And yeah, subscribe to see it. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers, guys.